Hello students, today we are going to be looking at ungrouped data, and we are going to be calculating variance and standard deviation. So how do we do this? How do we calculate variance and how do we calculate standard deviation? Now we have ungrouped data, so there is a formula to calculate variance of ungrouped data and standard deviation of ungrouped data. So we are working on ungrouped data and want to calculate the variance and standard deviation. Okay, now let me quickly say this. The only difference between variance and standard deviation is variance, or the square root of variance is a standard deviation. I take it again. The square root of what? Variance is your standard deviation. It means that you find your variance, then you can now find the standard deviation. So when you get your variance, get the square root of that variance, you have your standard deviation. For instance, now if your variance equals 9, just get square root of that 9. So that will be your what? SD, standard deviation. What is square root of 9? 3. Do you understand? So if your variance is 9, standard deviation will be 3, square root of 9. If your variance is 16, square root of 16 is going to be 4, which is a standard deviation. So anything you get as your variance, just take the square root of that, you get a standard deviation. Now, in exams, you can be given standard deviation and you'll be asked to find the variance. So when you have your standard deviation, just know that standard deviation will multiply itself to give you what? To give you standard deviation. It means that you take square of standard deviation to get variance, but you take square root of variance to get standard deviation. Do you understand that? I need to clarify that. Okay. Now let's now start. Now let's work. So if you want to solve for variance, let's solve for variance first. So what you just have to do is, so we have this here, we have square here for the variance, and we can have our table. We have our table just like how we did in when we are solving for mean absolute deviation. We have our x. We also need mean. We need mean because we need x minus mean. I said if you're solving for mean absolute deviation, find your mean first. Even when you are solving for variance or standard deviation, find your mean first. That is arithmetic mean. So what is arithmetic mean of this? You should know this. Just 1 plus 3, 4, plus 2, 6. Sorry, 1 plus 2, 6, plus this 10, 15. That's going to be what? 15 over the number is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is going to give us 3. You should know this, right? Yes. Okay, our mean is 3. So we can have now x minus mean. Then we also need something here. We are drawing this table based on the formula. So x minus mean. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's start now quickly. You can have our x to be 1. So we have 1 minus mean 3. It's going to give us. Minus 2. Okay, so let's do the first. Then we go to our 3. Second one, 3 minus 3 is going to give us 0. 2. 2 minus 3 is going to give us minus 1. What again? 4. 4 minus 3 is going to give us 1. What again? 5. 5 minus 3 is going to give us 2. Now, having gotten this now, so we now take the square of each of these. That's the meaning. The square mean. Do you understand? Sum of the square mean will give us our variance. So we take this. These are the square deviation. Sorry, we take the square of our deviation. This x minus mean is deviation. We take the square of deviation. So this is deviation for this first one, deviation for the second one, deviation for the third one, like that. So deviation, if you take square of this, which is going to be minus 2 times minus 2, which is going to give us what? 4. So I can just say square of 0 is to be 0, square of minus 1 will give us 1, minus 1 times minus 1. That is 1. Square root of 1 is also the 1. Square root of 2 is going to be what? 4. So if you look at the formula here, you say add up all the square deviation. So what we have here, sum, add up. We add it up. So how do we add it up? So we are going to have what? 4 plus 0 plus 1, 5 plus this 6. That's going to give us 10. The number is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 5. So our variance is 2. Our variance is 2. So when our variance is 2, that is our variance. And I told you that if you want to find your deviation, so your standard deviation will be what? Square root of what? Square root of your what? Variance. Square root of variance, which is standard deviation equals what? Square root of variance. Variance is 2. So you find this standard deviation of you have to find the square root of 2. That's going to be your standard deviation.